Hey, Fuzzy Biker here. Look what we got behind us. Royal Enfield Himalayan 411. This one's been modified. One of the superpowers of all Royal Enfields is that they can become different bikes for different people. Everything from a tour bike to an all-out dirt bike. ADV, and one like mine, town bike and country road bike. Everything in between. I think that if you were to do the math, you would find out that in the last year or two, Royal Enfields have put more miles on gravel than any other ADV bike on the market. Yahoo! Hard exhaust. Very nice levers. Definitely taller. I can feel that difference. Wow, very firm shock on the front. I like the way it handles. No mirrors, so I gotta manually check. Oh God, it handles excellent. Excellent handling. Wow, I just love it. There's something about the grip on this bike. I don't know what that is. It must be the shock. Excellent low end torque. Love the sound of the exhaust. Absolutely beautiful sound. I'm sold on the exhaust. Excellent. This thing's freaking awesome. All right, let's keep going here. Very good brake, no dive, excellent low end, even more so than before. I don't know what the torque numbers are on this, but terrific riding bike. We've had rain here lately, so we're going to be careful. The handling on this thing is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I just am so shocked that it's so different than mine. I think mine handles well. This thing handles very well. Okay, let's find a spot and do a little showdown. All right, well, let's start with what it is. It is a 2022 Royal Enfield Himalayan. This one is set up as a dirt bike, and it's in the process of continuing modification. He works for the dealership, bought the bike, and if you look at it closely here, you can see that there's a lot of little things that are changed, of course. I've just been driving it around town here in Marnie, Iowa, the metropolis of Marnie, Iowa, and it's just been phenomenal. Phenomenal. The handling is incredible. There's people like me that leave them stock because the bikes are so complete and so well adjusted as they are right out of the box. There's people that load them up for the highway. They'll put road tires on them. They'll gear them out. They'll use them as little mini tour bikes. There are people that ADV them off-road heavy with bags and all kinds of nifty stuff like that. Then there's people like this. This is Stretch's bike. He has made this into a hot rod dirt bike, a dirt monster, if you will. And he's a Royal Enfield mechanic, and he purchased this bike. It's a 2022, And I'm just going to kind of go through the list of what he's done to it. The tires are factory size, I believe. Let's see what the back one says. Shinko Adventure Trail on the rear, 805. And I can't see the size on it. Let's assume it's it's a 130/80/17. Okay, well that's a modification. And then the front is the same Shinko Adventure Trail, 804. The size on that is a 90/90, so that's stock size. He did the air injection delete kit, which is pumps air into the exhaust to help with emissions. And then he put a booster plug onto it. And I will tell you, the little bit I've driven this bike, a couple miles now, it has a lot of low-end torque compared to the stock. I have a stock Royal Enfield Himalaya La Rosa, and this you can definitely tell immediately. Now I'm sure that's a accumulation of the different things that he's done, and we'll keep on going through here. But the booster plug is supposed to help with the low-end power, and it's supposed to help with the. These bikes have a problem with idling. They don't like to idle, they keep dying, and this is supposed to help with that. He has removed the front fender totally. There's a fender that goes here. He has raised the this little brace mud guard for clearance, and believe me, you do need that. That's how I got stuck the other day. He has bark buster hand grips. He has the he ordered some special covers that go on here, and they're not in yet. I mean, I think they actually came in today. Was shown to me, but he cut the there's a center thing that goes here on these Enfields. He cut that off and exposing this pipe so he could put his phone mount on it, or GPS mount, or whatever that is. And then he added this bar here. Now I've looked at that. I don't know. I don't know, it's a very small diameter. It's a very well-made bar, but I think it's a very small diameter. He's talking about getting the bar that comes across the top where you can mount your stuff on that. That's probably a good idea. He has raised the bars on this. He's, I don't know how tall it stretches. He's probably at least 6'6", maybe taller. But he has raised these. He's talking about getting the black handlebars, and we were just looking at those in the accessory section of Baxter Cycle here in Marnie. The bike has these beautiful adjustable levers on them, and if there's any real limit or drawback, or I don't want to say, there's something that Himalaya should have did better, is they should have put better levers on their bikes. They seem to work fine, but they could be better. Now these are aftermarket. I don't know the brand, but he's got them. They're shorter, they're adjustable, they're higher quality. You know, they feel really good. You know, I was riding this thing around, and I just, you know, I'm sure a lot of what makes this motorcycle so good is the accumulation of all the different things that he's done to make it run well. Put a different carrier on the rear end. I'm reading his list here. This is a larger diameter one. It looks like it's better made than the stock one. You can certainly carry more. I think the stock one you're supposed to be able to carry 10 or 12 pounds. I don't know what the weight is on this one. You can also mount, you know, a bag on here if you want. It's got the holes drilled for it. This is the best part. I had a subscriber in Scotland, hey, look up Zard exhaust, and I did, and just beautiful. And I posted a picture on my Facebook page and got a lot of response out of it. And Stretch responded. He says, hey, that's what I got on my bike, and there it is. This was originally up like this and this way, and he didn't like that, so he put it down here low. And you know, I like it. Now what I will tell you about it is it's a good looking pipe. This one's older. It's an $800 exhaust pipe. It has a beautiful sound, and I will also tell you that the bike has a lot of torque and seems to run very well. It's an incredibly fun bike to run, and I'm betting you that that pipe has something to do with it. It's supposed to weigh half the weight of the original pipe. Back to the front of the bike, headlight grill for rock protection. Those are kind of cool. I like the way they look. I don't think I'm going to do that on mine, but they are beautiful. I know he's also put an LED bulb in there. That was another thing we this bike has stiffer fork springs, but he did put the stock oil in it, but we were just talking about this, and he says he's going to put the thicker oil in the pipes. Now this is something I just immediately driving this, it has a good feel on the suspension on the front, but it doesn't dive like mine does. Now I didn't think mine dove a lot, but compared to this it does. So I think, you know, the springs, it made a lot of difference. I'm just absolutely impressed with that. So something to think about. Carry on to the next page here. Isn't that just beautiful? I know it's a dirty bike, but you know what? It is a dirt bike. He's got an aftermarket shock on it, and we were looking for the brand on this and we couldn't find it, but it is from Hitchcock. And like I said, the ride on this motorcycle, front and rear, is immediately jumped out at me at how well this thing handled. I've driven it through a bunch of stuff like this and over all around here, and it really makes a difference. I was doing donuts with it up on the road, I won't say where, and I was, you know, turning tight circles in the on pavement, and the whole thing just works very, very well. I'm just so impressed with it. He put the shorter links on here. Let's see if we can get a view of those. These links here are shorter than the stock ones, and what that does is it raises the motorcycle. You can get longer ones to drop the back end, make it lower, or you can put these on that'll raise it. Like I said, he's a very tall person. He also wanted more ground clearance, so this has above average ground clearance. Probably a very good idea. The thing he put this, and I'm going to get one of these for mine. Actually, I'm going to order it tonight. They're out of them right now here at the store. One of these foot extenders, or you know, it increases the surface area of the kickstand, side stand. I'm just noticing he's removed his rear. He's removed his center stand. This motorcycle does not have a center stand. Now he's done other things to take off weight, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Rear heel guard for the brake. Here's the brake master cylinder for the back brake. He's got a heel guard on it. Put the S&B Performance filter in there. That's something when I just changed my, I didn't change it, but I checked my air filter on my Himalayan, and the filter looked fine, but the box was filled with a very fine dust on the inside, you know, on the other side of the filter, where you don't expect to see that. And what he's hoping is, he had the same problem, what he's hoping is this filter will solve that problem. It's also supposed to flow more air. Now whether it does or not, I don't know. He put he lower geared, he put a different sprocket, a 14-tooth sprocket on the front of this bike. It'd be right in here in this cover. That makes the lower gear. He said he's I can't remember the numbers, but I think it's 60. He's running a 300 or 400 RPMs more than he was before, but he says he doesn't have to downshift as much, and the bike has better torque feel, and believe me, it does have a great feel of torque. He's running an NGK Iridium plug, which I think I'm going to put in mine the next time. That's kind of a funny thing, because I like checking the plugs, you know, every so often. I pulled it out the other day at 2500. If you put Iridium, I mean, you really don't need to unless there's a problem, but I can still pull it out, right? This is an interesting one. The center, this plate here, he cut the edges off, but there were square edges on it. But more importantly, he cut these edges off the edge. This had a lip that came around, bent up. And what his thought was, he cut those off. If something gets in there, it can fall back out, you know, mud, whatever. And he also removed the, there's a canister down there, and it's for, I think it's for fuel vapor. And it, over time it gets full of dirt, and the bike starts stalling, and he just did one in the shop here a while back. He said the guy was complaining about stalling. They took that thing apart and it was absolutely full of mud. So he's removed that to make it run better. Okay, that was actually the next thing on my list. Evaporation, remove the evaporation system. He removed the chain guard. Well, we were talking about some other items that he's going to add to replace that, but the chain guard on Himalaya is a plastic piece, and he didn't like it, so he took it off. He also cut the tabs off, interestingly. Other things he's removed is he's cut off the rear brackets He's removed the rear foot pegs and cut off the brackets. And he says nobody's ever going to ride in the back of this bike, so you know he doesn't need all that weight. He's added these beautiful 3-point crash bars, 1, 2, 3, and he's going to put some foot pegs on there. He's got ordered. So he's got these nice engine guards, and on a dirt bike I can see doing that. Plenty of room to get the filter off, so we don't have that problem. Absolutely gorgeous, huh? And of course the Zarg exhaust. Absolutely beautiful Zarg exhaust. Relocated his license plate, of course. You've noticed there are no blinkers. He's in a quandary right now. He wants different blinkers, but he can't find some that he likes. But we were actually just talking about that and what he wants to do with that. Of course, the shield has gone on here too. He has some different ideas for tires that he wants to run next time. And he told me what they were, and I'm sorry, but I can't remember what they were. But he's really done a lot to this bike. And this is just an example of what you can do with your bike. It's just an absolutely beautiful motorcycle, and it's really welcoming to these kind of modifications. You know, one of the things about a Himalaya is you buy the bike new for $5,000. If you put $1,000, you've done a lot of work to the motorcycle. Put $2,000, I don't know what else you could do with it. It's everything. One of the things they do make that he was talking about is it's a 462 kit, 462 cubic centimeter instead of a 411. He's talking about that. They're doing one in the shop right now. He's going to see how that runs. He also wants to get the cam. There's a cam for this. Well, they're getting a cam for the one in the shop, and they're going to see how that runs. So that's more of what he's going to do with this particular motorcycle at some point. You know, he's only got 1,200 miles on it. I think he said of that 1,200, he's got probably 1,100 miles of that in the dirt. So only 100 on pavement. But an absolutely beautiful example of what you can do if you want a rugged off-road streetable dirt bike. And I will tell you, it is a ball to drive. It's night and day compared to mine. Mine is a ball to drive. This one has kahunas. Anyway, I just loved it. I just loved it. I'm gonna go ride this some more. I'm gonna have some fun and maybe take some pictures, and then I'm gonna take it back. You can tell I'm real excited about that. So anyway, y'all have a good time. Get out there and ride your bikes. Get yourself to a dealer and ride one of these if you can. You got a friend that's got one, borrow it. Do whatever you can to get on one. Get on it, put a bunch of miles on it. You'll have a lot of fun. Royal Enfield Himalaya hot rod dirt bike. The highly modified dirt bike Royal Enfield Himalayan. We just had rain the other night, so I really can't go off-roading with it. Well, not that much anyway. So let's see what we can find, huh? One of the things about this particular bike is the handling. It handles very different than mine, even though it is supposed to be the same bike. He's got the Hitchcock shock on the rear and the front suspension kit on the front. The shorter links, which gives it a higher riding height. And of course all the engine modifications that we talked about earlier. Wow, I just love this thing. He says it'll roll down the highway at 70 just fine. Got that beautiful Zarg exhaust, Italian. Wow, this thing is a ball. The pickup is phenomenal, phenomenal. I had no idea you could do these. I had no idea you could do that with this bike. The way this thing runs is amazing. The handling is just incredible. Every time I see one of these bikes different, I just I fall in love again. I gotta take this back. I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't. Well, wait, let's go down another street or two. Oh yeah, he's got his ABS disabled on this bike. So we'll lock up the back tire. I just did that. This thing is phenomenal. I just love riding this thing. I do not want to take it back home. I do not want to take this back. But one must do what one must, right? Well, let's see what we can figure out. dang, this thing is a ball. You can take the circuitous route. I can't go in the mud because, like I said, we had heavy rain here just recently. Okay, I'm gonna take this back because I'm gonna end up getting hurt. These things are dangerous. They make you feel like a kid. The stock Himalayan has 8.5 inches of ground clearance, so I'm betting this has an inch or two over that. Wahoo!